Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 892.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, I'm going to share an article with you that says, "This is the net worth Americans say you need to be financially comfortable." I thought this was an interesting topic for us to discuss because people are curious. How do other people view being comfortable? How much money do they think they need to be comfortable? And what do different generations think the number is in terms of how much money you need to be comfortable? So I thought this was especially interesting because of the multi-generational statistic that they have in this article. By the way, this comes to us from CNBC.com. And also I wanted to talk with you about what you can do, steps you can take if you don't feel you're in that place of being comfortable or you want to be more comfortable. This article was written by Megan Leonhardt, and it says, "When it comes to achieving financial peace of mind, you might not need to be a millionaire. In fact, Americans say you only need a net worth of $624,000 to be considered financially comfortable. That's down significantly from the $934,000 net worth that Americans cited as the minimum needed for financial comfort last year, according to Schwab's 2021 Modern Wealth Survey, an annual poll of 1,000 U.S. adults that focuses on how Americans think about saving, spending, investing, and wealth. The COVID-19 pandemic almost certainly played a role in lowering the bar when it comes to net worth, which is essentially a calculation of all of a person's assets, including cash and checking and savings accounts, financial investments, and the value of any real estate or vehicles owned minus all their debt, including credit card balances, student loans, and mortgages. The global health and economic crisis caused many Americans to reprioritize what's important," Schwab found. About 69% of survey respondents say mental health is more important to them now than it was before. The definition of financial comfort also varies by age and gender. Men feel you need a net worth of $864,000 to be considered financially comfortable, which is more than double the $325,000 net worth cited by women. Here's the net worth each generation says you need to be considered financially comfortable in 2021. Millennials, those aged 24 to 39, say it's $618,000. Gen X, ages 40 to 55, say it's $717,000. And baby boomers ages 56 to 74 say it's $609,000. So that's really interesting. I want to pause for a moment and just say the baby boomers are saying it takes the least amount of money to feel financially comfortable at $609,000. Millennials, the youngest, ages 24 to 39 in the workforce, are saying it's $618,000, just a little bit more. And Gen Xers, those in the 40 to 55 age category, are saying it's the most, $717,000. Here's why I think that is. Remember when Harry Dent did the study about when you are in your maximum spending years? If you remember that study, it was age 46 was your maximum spending time. And he said that was because that's about when people were buying up into their largest homes and they were spending the most on their mortgage, on fixing up their house, on vacations, children, education, etc. That would make sense to me that the Gen Xers have the most money as their view of what makes them feel comfortable. The article goes on to say U.S. households had an average net worth of $748,800 prior to the pandemic, according to the Federal Reserve's 2019 survey of consumer finances. However, the median or midpoint net worth of all families was much lower, just $121,700 in 2019. So I want to pause there again. The median means half are above and half are below, whereas an average takes the average, add it all together, and divided by the number that you're averaging. So the median or midpoint is very telling. Half the people have a net worth below $121,700 and half the people have a net worth above $121,700. So that tells us a lot more about the real reality of people's net worth rather than averaging it all together, because the people that are very wealthy are going to bring the average up. And it doesn't really tell you how people are doing. But when you use the median and half are below $121,700 in their net worth, that tells you a completely different picture, and that we need to do a lot better job with financial literacy, education, and investing. The article says, among the many lessons the pandemic has taught us, it's that being financially prepared and mindful of your financial health is important, says Rob Williams, Vice President of Financial Planning at Charles Schwab. With that in mind, it's likely worth taking the time to evaluate where you're at right now and make a written financial plan to ensure your finances are on track for the future. Perhaps by doing so, more Americans will accumulate enough money to hit the $1.9 million net worth that's considered wealthy. End of article. Well, I did report on that some time ago, where I reported that the $1.9 million number is what Americans thought they needed in order to feel wealthy. So that might be people's target, around a $2 million amount for retirement, or around a $2 million amount to, quote, feel wealthy. But let's talk about what steps you can do rather than just say, oh, get a written financial plan. I like that he made a suggestion, but I'm going to suggest something more practical for you. If you have read my book, You're Already a Wealth Heiress, you know that I talk about the wealth building formula, which is money, compounding, and time. I call it McT, so it's easy to remember. Kind of like McDonald's, McD, only McT. McT means that you need three things to create wealth. You need money to invest. You need compounding rates of return in your investments that are good. And you need time to compound. That's why we always talk about when you're younger and you have more time, it's a lot easier to build wealth, because that number would be bigger in the T for you, younger people. And that makes it easier for you to accumulate wealth. But a lot of people are on the other end where they've started late saving for retirement. And so they don't have quite the money, the M, to invest or saved in their 401k plan that they would have liked to. So most people have only limited funds that they can put into the money category, because you make X amount of dollars and you can save a percentage of that, but you need a percentage to live on. You can't save 100%. And so there's only so much M, or money, that you can accumulate for this formula. So you've got limitations on M, you've got limitations on T. That means the C, the compounding piece, has got to be the important piece for you. It's the piece that will help people if they don't have a lot of money to put away, or they don't have a lot of time left, years in terms of years to compound, to grow their investments. So compounding becomes the key for you. And compounding means getting good rates of return on your investments. So whether that is investing in the S&P 500 in an index fund, or whether that is using some fast-growing sectors to pepper that asset allocation model, or whether it is using crypto to supplement some of those fast-growing assets, I actually think that crypto in a 5% allocation in your portfolio is enough to make a huge difference in this category. If you remember one of my podcasts recently, I talked about how in 5 years, $1,000 invested in 5 different cryptos grew to over 6 figures. And I still think that potential exists to happen again in the right cryptocurrencies. So compounding your money becomes a little bit easier, perhaps, in a fast-growing, revolutionary asset class like cryptocurrencies than it does in the stock market, which tends to average about a 10% return year in and year out. The kinds of gains that we've seen in cryptocurrencies are extraordinary, and that means that for people who are able to compound at higher rates, they're going to be using the wealth building formula to create more net worth for themselves and get to that level where they feel financially comfortable, and perhaps even the level where they feel they are considered wealthy. So I have some podcasts about the wealth building formula. If you want to delve into that more, you can go to my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And there is a search box there where you can search for wealth building formula, and it will pull up my latest information about that. You can also read my Wealth Heiress book, which is available on Amazon, and that will give you all the details about the wealth building formula, give you lots of success stories of people who have successfully applied the wealth building formula, and show you what to do in particular situations where you might feel you have a special situation, a limiting situation, other problems. It's all pretty much detailed out in the You're Already a Wealth Heiress book. And I'll leave a link for the Wealth Heiress book in the show notes. And if you are overseas in Europe, you can also order from Amazon.uk. So I hope that all of that helps you understand the generations, how they feel about feeling financially comfortable, what amount of money that takes, and how to get yourself to financial freedom faster. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.